Here we are again, Nigel Chapman, Chief Exec of Plan International. What brings you to Davos in particular this year?
My focus this year is upon girls and education. We've just published a major report with the Overseas Development Institute on the impact of recession on girls. Okay. Very worrying in terms of their health, in terms of access to education, in terms of actually their very survival as infants. So I've been telling that message, and I've been using it to say to politicians and leaders, look, you thought, this girls' education thing was something we'd sort of kind of solved, primary access was going up, it all looked going in the right direction. It isn't. There's much more to do, and I worry that people are taking their eye off the ball. Girls' education was a fashionable subject 2 or 3 years ago. Things move on, and I've been trying to redress that and bring people's focus back on it.
So girls in particular, how do you define, beyond gender, what age is girls' education? What do you focus on?
5 to 15, 16, and we're looking to guarantee 9 years of education for every child, but particularly for girls. And in many countries we know that girls drop out of school faster than boys. They don't complete that for all sorts of social reasons, poor quality of the education they're being offered. So we feel there's a real price being paid by society, both actually in the developing world, but the developed world too, for that lack of education. It's a great opportunity missed, so we're trying to really up the stakes on this and say to governments, working with the UN Special Envoy as well, look, this really can't be left as a semi-completed project. We need to move harder and faster on it.
So you're talking to governments and you're talking to the UN about this, but for the business leaders at Davos or for our clients, surely there is an opportunity cost of not educating girls. Surely there is a talent dividend that you can get by doing this. How do you reframe this challenge as if you like, a business imperative?
Well, it's a self-interest issue for business. Right. Because if you're expanding into developing world markets, you need a well-educated labour force that can adapt, can use technology, is flexible, can take on all the duties you'd like them to do. Now, if you've got a deficit in the education of young people, then you run the risk of not having those people when you actually need them. So there's actually a self-interest in that.
And do you think that self-interest can flow through to a funding or investment from business to take that future, if you will, potential of that talent to an investment today? Because that's really what you're talking about, right?
I think it's a number of things. I think first of all, you've got business putting pressure on those who have a duty to do better. To be honest, you can't expect necessarily a company based in the UK or United States to take on the burden of sorting out Kenya's or Tanzania's education. That's unrealistic. But there is political pressure to be put on governments to take their duties more seriously. And then there is a kind of wider issue, which is this transition from a child to a young person and the need for jobs. Because we don't want to create all these educated girls and boys if at the end of it they don't have any jobs, because that will lead to social unrest and lack of fulfillment and lack of opportunity and lack of growth in the economy, which then goes back to the interest of business generally, particularly those who want to inwardly invest into societies in Africa or Asia which are relatively underdeveloped. So there is a win-win going on here for business, big corporate business, for local entrepreneurs too who want to create jobs for their own community. They need educated, talented young people who have self-confidence, have skills, and particularly have IT skills.